Hey, I just wanted to come on really quick. I'm on my way to work and I just thought of something that I said I wanted to share. I was in my feelings one day with my godson. Really in my feelings, okay? What happened was, when he comes over, he automatically starts talking about going to see another family member of his, and he's like, so maybe I'll come over here, but then I'll go spend a night over there. Like, and the whole thing is I want to spend time with him, right? So I'm like, but you just got here, and maybe he doesn't want to spend time with me anymore. Now, like I haven't mentioned, I've known him since he was a baby, and yeah, he was my blessing. Let me tell you, when I lost my baby and I didn't, and my daughter started bringing this little baby in my house, it was very confusing as why, first of all, my teenager who's in high school keeps bringing his baby here and the baby's staying. Like, he's like being here. And I'm like, Bria, you in high school. You need to be getting yourself together. I'm working on you. How are we going to bring this new baby in this house and then even your child? What is going on, right? But let me tell you how the Lord makes things work out for your good. Okay? So, and I am so corny, I'm not going to cry. But he does. He really does. When it says, all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord. And I'm like, that is so, so evident in this story. So, I lost this baby. It's my second child that I lost, mind you. Okay, was it? No, that was the first child. Because then it was 5 years later, the second one. So yeah, this is the first child, right? And I'm like thinking, wow, I'm young enough. I'm about to have this baby. I'm in my 30s, feeling really good. So then like I said, it was really shocking to see that my daughter got this baby in the house and I'm not getting it, and I was going through so many issues with trying to help her out. So I'm like, this is not making any sense to me, Lord. And I kept telling her, bring that baby home. She said, Ma, you don't understand. I said, bring that baby home. I'm working on you. Because we was dealing with some real serious issues, right? But then, as I think about it, had I had a baby, I would not have had the open arms to accept him in my life, because I would have been really bogged down now being a mother to my own child, one that's a baby and one that's having some issues and running away and getting herself into a lot of craziness. Well, at this time she wasn't running away anymore, but it was a lot of stuff. And I'm like, hold up, this is some situation. Why does she have this baby and now I got to deal with this? And I'm thinking, like, had I had a child, I would not have had the energy or the thought process to even know what the situation was at the time. And I'm not going to give like my godson's business out, but what I am going to say is that there was a need, and the Lord placed me in position to, like, he placed me in position for that need. So I not only was there a need that he needed, there was a need that I needed. Like, I had, that loss was so serious to me that people cannot even possibly understand. Like, I wanted this baby, I was so happy, and I'm telling the world just to find out that, to see the process of me losing that child was devastating to me. So it's like the Lord did not give me a child. He just didn't give me the child that was in me. So when I sit here and I was going through the thoughts of how that boy, like, literally brought me back to life, brought my home back to life. Like, I had someone to look at after, because I realized that there was a need in his life, that there was a reason why my daughter was bringing this little boy over. Like, I could not get it for the life of me at the time, but then I'm like, the Lord placed, okay, there's this thing where certain animals, right? Certain animals, if they have a baby, they may, take on other babies of even a different species, I guess, a different type of animal. So, they may feed that baby. All of a sudden, they may be the mother to this baby, and this baby has nothing to do with them. But because their motherly instincts are there, like my motherly instincts was heightened, okay? They were really there. Like, I was so happy. And all of a sudden, when I realized that there was this need that this child needed in my household, I remember being in my bedroom thinking, like, I'm sitting here watching TV being depressed. I said, there's a baby. I remember specifically saying it like this: there's a baby downstairs. Let me go play with him. So I went down, brought him upstairs, started playing with his little fat old brown legs, biting them and stuff, and he was loving it. He kept jumping, and he had his little diaper on, and he's jumping, holding on to the back of my bed thing right there, the whatever that thing is with the shell on top of it. Yeah, he is holding on and going back and forth because he couldn't really walk yet. He couldn't walk at all yet. And the thing is, he could just move around like that. And I'm just enjoying him. And I couldn't wait to see him again. And I did not know that it would be 9 years of this boy being in my life. So let me say, when I got in my feelings, when I realized that, he wanted to come here for short periods of time and that he wanted to leave, that got to me. So I said, so what does this mean? Like, you don't like want, because I think like this. I'm not his real family member, right? I might have acted in such a way, but one day he's going to realize, like, why am I going to that lady house all the time? Like, she's just somebody. She's not even my family. And he doesn't think like that yet, but I'm like hoping that day don't come, because I've had children come in my life. My best friend's daughter, I only see her once in a while when she comes to church. Well, if she comes to church, I only see a grandchild now. I don't even see her. And it's like, I see my other, it was that me and that girl is not best friends anymore. So that child moved out of my life as well. And then, my nephew, I see him because he's family with my son, but not like it used to be. So I know that I have been in children's lives and they've moved away, and not because they moved, because it just moved away from my life. But this boy is so special, very special to me. They were all special, but this boy is very special to me. God placed him in my life, and he's just, when I say in every sense of the word of being my God's son, every sense of the word, God sent him to me. So, I got in my feelings because I felt he didn't want to come around anymore. And all of a sudden, I was like, well, if you don't want to come around, and I remember saying, like, Bree, I don't even think he really, like, he's starting to realize I'm not family, and maybe he's like, and even though I treat him just like family, like he's like my son, I treat him like my son. So he get yelled at and everything, and that's really the nature, because I've started taking care of him, and I was sending him, bringing him home from school and help him with his homework and all this stuff. I acted as mom. So, it was a lot, because my daughter, she moved on, she got her boyfriend, she got her baby, but this boy was brought in my life, and I just thank God for it. So when he got like that, let me get to a story. When he got like that, I got into my feelings. And I'm telling my daughter, like, maybe he don't really like coming over here no more. Maybe, maybe I'm losing him now. Maybe, I understand he's not my blood, whatever. I guess that's just the way it goes. So, and I'm not crying, but my nose is running. I'm probably about to cry, but my nose is running. My front nose is always running. I don't know why. I got the most runningest nose. That's so corny. Anyway, so this is what happened. So the next morning, and this happened like last week. The next morning they were calling. They was trying to find out if he was going to sign on for school, and I didn't have him, and his grandmother didn't have him. His aunt, the one he wanted to go over so bad, I had took him over there, so she had still had him for that week, and so she was trying to sign him up online, and there was an issue. So she was saying, is this mommy? I said, no, I'm God mommy. She was like, oh, okay, because we need to get him signed on. She says, is this Melissa Bland? I said, yes, it is. And she says, I just want you to know, I really want you to know that your godson truly loves you. All he says is Mama Alyssa this and Mama Alyssa that, Mama Alyssa this. And she says, I just feel like, especially around Christmas time, he could not wait. All he talked about is how he was coming over to your house and staying with you. And I'm like, listening to her. And she says, I just thought you might want to know. That's how she said it. I just thought you might want to know. Like, she was you know what she was. She was a messenger. So, I started to immediately be like, Lord, I got in my feelings. And that was just so corny, because kids are going to move up and they're going to grow up and they're going to, they'll remember you, but they're going to grow up and move away. Because even like my nephew, when he comes, he says, hey, auntie, I still love you, auntie. I love you so much. He's like, going, what is he? Going, he was 25? Yeah, he's 25 now. So, he still loves his auntie. He still is happy when he sees me. He still be like, hey, auntie. And, even though, things moved on and I haven't seen him so much, I'm like, wow, these kids move on. I just thank God when he did show me through this teacher who has never met me and hardly ever talked to me. I had a lot of conversation with his last year's teacher, but this year's teacher I haven't, because I've let him stay home since everything was more online, and I felt that they could handle this a little bit better, and things was a little bit different for me. I didn't have the care for him at the home that he could get when he just stayed home. So, yeah, I'm like, wow, she was a messenger, not just a messenger, just a messenger from God. Like, stop doing that to yourself. Okay, we can get so much into our feelings when it didn't even thought like that. So it's just, if it helps anybody, that message, I like to just put those little things out there. I know I don't really have any, I'm not no preacher, obviously. I don't have extra stories. I just like to bring the goodness of God, the little testimonies that he's done, in hopes that it helps somebody. And that particular thing helped me. So if you're feeling in your feelings, if you feel like there's something going on and you don't know, and listen, come out of your feelings, because it ain't probably like how you thought. It probably isn't like how you thought. I've seen that even in situations where I'd be like, well, those people don't like me, those people don't like me, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they showed that nothing like that. Me being in my feelings, so we can get like that sometime. But yeah, that was just like a beautiful, beautiful thing that teacher thought that she needed to take time. She needed to take time and tell me that my godson, speaks highly of me. And I just love him so much. So I'm so thankful for him. I know that God put that little boy in my life for real. People keep thinking he's my son. They say, oh, y'all look just alike. Probably because we always together. You know how people just automatically start assuming it's your child because y'all, or your brother or whatever, only because y'all always together. That you and your best friend start looking alike, and you and your best friend wasn't even looking alike. So it's because y'all hang together and people start seeing y'all similarities and everything. Yeah. They always say, oh, your child, that's your child, that's your child. I'm like, yeah, God did send them to me, and I just so thank him for. I rarely. Like after he started to, when he placed him in my life, I was able to heal better from my loss, because I no longer had lost, but the I don't know, it's just something that the Lord did when he placed that little boy in my life. Like, he might have needed us, but he does not realize how much I needed him. Really, God knew. And he says, if I give you a child, you couldn't be there for this child that's going to need you. And everything that I would have ever done for my child, I make sure that I'm doing for this baby. Like there's no half stepping. Not everything, because he does have a mother, he does have a family. But for the most part, where I can be there, I'm there, and I definitely make my presence known in that. Anyway, that's that. I don't want to hold this long. It shouldn't be 15 minutes long. It was supposed to have been like 3 minutes. Y'all have a blessed one. Bye bye.